Todd, what kind of pace did that feel like at bench side the other night against Minnesota? It looked on TV. It looked unreal. The pace.
It was a good pace game. When you go back over the video, I think it looked like a fast game there as well. And what they did a good job of is forechecking and putting pressure on us, which resulted in some turnovers. But there's some areas that we can be better and need to be better at, and we addressed some of those today. And I thought we had a good practice and start to get refocused for tomorrow night's game.
It seemed like to you your defensemen were a little bit more involved in the offensive zone Saturday, and maybe that was just taking what Minnesota gave you. But there were, you look at the play that Jack set up Prout for the goal, and I think Wisniewski carried it in a couple times.
Yeah.
I mean, was it just a matter of them taking what was given?
Yeah, I think that was it. I don't think we didn't talk about or try to do anything special, versus Minnesota compared to any other team. I think it was opportunities for our defensemen to get up and join the rush, and when you do look back, I think that's one thing that we can maybe do a little bit better. And not leading the rush, not necessarily carrying the puck, but following plays up the ice.
We talked about this a little bit the other day, but when you're in the position you're in, knowing that if you win, you maintain at least, does that mean you pay a little bit less attention maybe to what else is going on around the league than you did maybe at this point last season?
I think at this year, I think there's lots of people that are following what's going on right now. I had dinner last night with a couple, and they wanted me to keep checking the phone and letting them know what the scores were around the league. So it's, everyone's involved, from a fan standpoint. And that's what makes this time of year so special is the involvement. Our fans are into it, and obviously players and coaches, we're right in the middle of it, and management. So everyone's following, and you become fan of other games. Cheering obviously for Western Conference teams to beat the Eastern Conference teams, and it's no different than when we're playing Minnesota. I'm sure there are lots of teams around the league watching, hoping that Minnesota they were gonna beat us on Saturday.
So with the schedule so compressed, the guys are saying the coaches are doing a great job making sure when we have a chance to refresh and rest, we're getting that chance. What are you doing specifically to try to keep these guys as fresh as you can?
The last 2 days was pretty easy. Giving them Sunday off is really our first occasion this month where we've had 2 days off in between games. So that was a no-brainer. I think coming out today, it was more about, wasn't necessarily the pace of practice or wanting to get them up and down the ice, but just working on a couple things that we need to work on. And the drills weren't taxing by any means. Pretty simple drills, but I thought the pace was good. So it's trying to manage that as a coach. What do you need, and then being efficient. Not wasting time. Get at the drills, get the guys on the ice, get them off the ice, get what you want done, and then let them move on. Go home, spend some time with their families, or just sit at home and relax.
Easy for you to keep a pulse on that, knowing if your team looks a little fatigued collectively?
You can identify some nights where I think the group just looks tired. Our guys have done a good job playing with a lot of energy here over the last 3 weeks, whatever it's been, 2 to 3 weeks. I thought they've done a very good job of that. And again, as a coach, and that's part of it's easy as a coach when you see your guys competing and battling, to give them a day off. That's easy. It's when they struggle, because now as a coach you're trying to figure out, are they tired, or do we need to go out and work on things? But credit to the guys and how they've played.
Get Blake Como back from suspension. Will it be tough to maybe fit him in or break up a line to get him in, particularly that fourth line?
I like the way that fourth line is played, but that's where Blake was too prior to him getting the suspension, and I thought he was one of the best forwards in that Detroit game. So we will get Blake back in, and we'll make a decision tomorrow as far as the lines and what we want. We have a great number of guys right now. Jared Bull's getting close, so that gives us close to 15 forwards, and so getting in the lineup is going to be, there's going to be competition to get in, and once you get in, there's going to be competition to stay in, based on play, but some of it is also based on, what personnel do we feel we need to have in the lineup, on a particular night. You might want a different personnel going into Philadelphia than maybe going into Chicago. And they're both great teams, but I think they both present a little bit different elements. So we're just going to have to do that, and guys are going to have to, not that you want guys happy sitting out, they should be a little bit angry, but that's where we're at right now.
Carolina, do they fit the bill of a desperate team? I know that word gets used a lot, but given where they're at and time's running short, I mean, do you expect them to play like a desperate team?
I'm expecting them to play like a desperate team. And, at this stage of the season anyways, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. I mean, you're in the NHL, and, you're a professional hockey league, and all these guys are professional athletes, and you're expected to perform a certain way. And that's why you get paid the money that these guys are getting paid, is to come out and perform and show up every night. So I'm not expecting these guys to – I'm expecting them to be desperate. I'm expecting these guys to play hard and come in here and try to earn 2 points.
Any concerns about looking ahead to Friday? That's going to be a big game as well.
I don't think so. I don't think so. We talked a little bit about this morning. I mean, Friday's game is just as important as tomorrow night. It's worth 2 points in the standings. And in between that, you got Thursday up in Montreal. So we got 3 big games this week, and you're in New York against the Islanders on Sunday. So we're playing, and that's an afternoon. That's a 1 o'clock game. So we're playing 4 games in about 5.5 days, and every game is worth 2 points. And the game against New York is important, but so are the other 3.
You have, you mentioned Bull, and I chatted with him briefly. I mean, what's your understanding of when he might be ready?
I still haven't gotten a concrete answer from Mike Vogt. Again, it's how he feels, and and then we're really going to have to monitor it, because he's missed a substantial amount of time, and coming back and playing at this time of the season isn't easy. Condensed schedule and the intensity and the speed of these games. You guys talked about the Minnesota game looking really fast on TV. That's what happens this time of year. The speed, the intensity of the game, and the physicality of the game is at another level.
Is it possible that maybe will it be tough to get, when he is ready, will it be tough for him to get back in there?
We'll just have to see. We'll have to see. I have to see all the teams playing. Again, that's what I said. What do we need in our lineup? Jared provides some leadership too, in the locker room. And, maybe that's something that you, as a coach or coaches, we feel we need. There's that physical element that he has, and that's always good to have on the bench. But there's also that leadership quality that he brings to the room.
Is that part of why he's traveling? I mean, granted, you can monitor him.
Yeah, but just, getting him back with the group too. He's starting to get close, and some of it is our medical staff can monitor and work on him, and some of it is coaches can work on him and work with him and getting his conditioning level up to where it needs to be, and some of it is just getting him back with his teammates.